All right, the whole world is racing to build a sustainable future. It's all we talk about. But what if I told you we're missing one of our most critical assets? Today, we're going to dig into why women are the essential, so often overlooked, key to getting this energy transition right. Let's dive in. To really get this, let's start with a story. This is Carol Koech, and before she was a powerhouse in the energy world, she was a young girl in rural Kenya. Her days, well, they were spent herding cattle and fetching water. And at night, she'd do her homework by the dim, smoky light of a kerosene lamp. That was her world, a world defined by energy poverty. And wow, what a journey! Just look at the contrast here. On the left, you see her childhood. On the right, her reality today. Country president for Schneider East Africa, a major champion for STEM education, and a mentor to so many young women. The difference is just night and day, and the bridge between those two worlds, well, it's energy and it's opportunity. Now, Carol's journey is way more than just an inspiring anecdote. It's actually a perfect case study. It helps us see the incredible potential that's out there, but also the very real systemic barriers that are still in the way. And this gets to a really core problem, right? You can't be what you can't see. When Carol was young, the only career paths she ever saw for women were teachers and nurses. That's it. She had zero role models in science or engineering, so she went for electrical engineering basically blind, with no idea where it would lead. That's a huge leap of faith, and it's a leap she's now working to make a whole lot easier for the next generation. So, how does one person's incredible story connect to a global pattern? Well, while Carol's success story is exceptional, the hurdles she had to overcome are not. There is a massive gender gap in the energy sector. And honestly, it's holding the entire clean energy transition back. Here's the number you need to know, 32%. That's it. Worldwide, women make up just 32% of the renewable energy workforce. That is less than 1/3. It's a huge gap. And, as we're about to see, it's a huge missed opportunity for climate action. And even inside that 32%, the picture is pretty skewed. This chart breaks it down. A whopping 58% of women in the sector are in administrative roles. But look at that tiny slice for senior decision-making positions, just 13%. So you see, it's not just about getting women through the door. It's about getting them a seat at the table where the big decisions are made. So why is this such a big deal? Because women and girls are the ones most affected by the very problem renewable energy is trying to solve. They're the ones who bear the brunt of energy poverty, spending hours on unpaid work, breathing in smoke from cooking fuels, dealing with safety risks when it gets dark. But here's the thing. Women are not just victims in this system. They are actively becoming the architects of its change. So this next part is all about how they're challenging old assumptions and tearing down the barriers that have kept them out for so long. This quote from youth advocate Samjana Chanchal just nails one of the biggest myths out there. This idea that you have to be an engineer to work in renewable energy. And she's right, it's so harmful because it immediately shrinks the talent pool and shuts out countless amazing qualified women. And the thing is, that myth just isn't true. Not even close. I mean, the renewable energy transition is this incredibly complex puzzle. It needs legal experts, it needs policymakers, it needs finance gurus to fund the projects, and it absolutely needs entrepreneurs to come up with the next big idea. No one skill set can do this alone. And it goes beyond just perceptions. There are hard financial walls. For women entrepreneurs trying to get a green business off the ground, getting a loan can be next to impossible. And why is that? Because so many banks require collateral, like land or other big assets, things that in many parts of the world, women just don't own in their name. So when you're faced with these huge challenges, what do? Well, women are doing what they've always done. They're organizing. They are building these incredibly powerful networks and teaming up with allies to create the kind of change that one person just can't make alone. A perfect example of this is WING, that stands for Women in Geothermal. This thing started as just an idea at a conference back in 2013, and it has absolutely exploded. It's now the largest single geothermal association on the planet, with members in 68 countries. I mean, that's a grassroots movement gone global. And here's the secret to how they do it. Their structure is all about thinking globally, but acting locally. So you have a global team that sets the big vision, but then you have country ambassadors and their local teams who are on the ground
tackling the specific issues and customs that matter most in their own communities. It's brilliant. And the foundation for all their work is built on these 4 values: being courageous enough to question the way things have always been done, empowering others to succeed, staying open to all kinds of diversity, and caring enough to create work environments that are actually safe and supportive. This is about changing the entire culture of an industry, from the ground up.
Okay, this brings us to a really, really critical question, because this can't just be a women's issue, right? So what's the role for men in all of this? How can they step up and be active allies in building a more equal energy sector?
Well, Wing has a direct answer. They created something called the Wingman Special Task Force. And this isn't just about good intentions. It's a real program that gives men practical tools to recognize their own unconscious biases and gives them concrete actions they can take to support their female colleagues and drive real change. So let's bring this all home. We've seen the barriers and we've seen the beginnings of some amazing solutions. But let's be crystal clear. Including women isn't just about being fair or hitting some diversity quota. It is strategically essential if we actually want to build a sustainable future. And we come full circle, right back to Carol Koech. Her words here are just so powerful. The people who are most affected by lack of energy are the same ones most affected by climate change. So who better to design the solutions? Their lived experience isn't a weakness. It's a vital expertise that we desperately need at the table. And the stakes here, they are enormous. If we can achieve universal access to clean electricity, estimates show that 185 million women could be lifted out of poverty by 2050. We're not just talking about turning on the lights. We're talking about transforming lives on a massive, massive scale. So we'll end with this thought. The transition to a renewable world, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. It's coming. The only real question is who gets to build it, who gets to own it, and who gets to benefit from it. Making sure women are at the very heart of the answer, that's how we build a future that actually works for everyone.